Hi everyone, you've made a great choice today choosing this Pilates session to do if you are looking at ways to improve your contact using a resistance band. You don't have to use a resistance band, you can use a bungee, you can use a very stretchy pair of tights. If you've got nothing else to hand, a resistance band of course will probably give you the best outcome from this session. But we're going to use this band or whatever you've got to help improve your strength, your control, your stability, your body awareness when it comes to all things upper body and hand position, all of which is going to help you with your contact in the saddle. So before we start, make sure you're sitting comfortably, equal weight through your seat bones. If you need to be seated on a block or with your legs out in front of you, that's absolutely fine. Then we're going to start by turning your head from side to side, keeping your eyes level as you turn and trying to loosen off any stiffness through your neck and upper body before you start. There's no point in going into a session like this if you are carrying tension. So particularly if it's first thing in the morning and you're a bit stiff, or at the end of a working day, make sure that your body is ready to actually exercise in a constructive way. Otherwise you're just going to be reinforcing unhelpful positions and habits. Okay, then bring your hands together, turn them over, push forwards and reach up, and then bring your hands back down, and again push forwards and reach up. Look at your hands as you go and come back down. We're going to do one more just the same, so forwards and reaching up, looking at your hands. Okay, then we're going to pop onto your back and you need to have your resistance band from the start. We are going to start with the hip twist exercise and we're going to combine your arms and your legs with this one. So have your feet and knees approximately hip width apart. I'll run through the legs, then we'll bring in the arms. So if you're going to go from the floor, you're rolling one knee out to the side and back up, and rolling the other knee out to the side and back up. If you're going to go from your tabletop position, rolling the whole leg out, back up, and then rolling the other leg out and back up. We're going to bring in the arms. It's the same arm pattern whether you are going from the floor or from your tabletop position, and you're taking your opposite arm out in the opposite direction to your leg, but they are going at the same time. This is a double wine glass exercise, so that the hand and knee that are staying still stay still enough. You've got a full glass of wine or your drink of choice in at the end. With your arms, try to make sure that you are controlling the band and it's not the band that is pinging you back up again. It's all about you being in control. So keep that still hand really still and control the band. And do one more. Okay, then bring your hands and feet back down, have a little bit of a breather. We're going to move on to the scissors exercise. Now this is a little bit more complicated because we're going to be doing a slightly different arm and leg pattern depending on where you start from. If you're going from the floor, you're going to be bringing one leg up into your tabletop position and back down, and bringing the other leg up into your tabletop position and back down. If you're going to go from tabletop, you're doing in the reverse, so the foot goes down and back up, and the other foot goes down and back up. With the arms, it's the opposite arm, but if you're going from the floor, it's the opposite arm is going in the same direction as the opposite leg. If you're going from tabletop, the opposite arm is going in the opposite direction to your leg. So it's always the opposite arm. So if you're going from the floor, it's going in the same direction as your leg. If you're going from tabletop, it's going in the same direction, opposite direction, sorry, to your leg. So again, this is a wine glass exercise. Try to keep your hand and knee really still and watch that you are controlling the band. It's tricky. One more each way. Okay, then bring your feet down one at a time, bring your hands down one at a time. Okay, we're going to move on to your shoulder bridge, so bring your feet a little bit closer towards your bottom. If you've been using a headrest, slide it out of the way. And we'll start off just by getting the shoulder bridge set up. So think pelvic floor onto floor 3 before you start. Imprint your low back into the floor and you're peeling yourself up off the floor, one vertebra at a time until you get to the top. You want a straightish line, shoulders, headlights to knees. You don't want to be aiming for here. I sometimes see people doing this on social media. All you're doing here, if you feel through your back muscles when you get to this point, everything is really rigid. You're kind of locking through your low back. You're looking to peel up and pause at a point where everything is still, it'll be working, but you're not really fixed and locked through there, and you're controlling that movement through your hips as well. So really get that feeling of the string of pearls peeling up off the floor and then bringing you back down, each one in turn. Okay, now you're going to take your straight band and it's now going to stay really, really still. So one end of each hand, come up to the top of your bridge. Your hands are going to stay there now as you lower one side of your pelvis and back up, and then do the same thing with the other side. Also try to keep your knees very still, so you're not drifting around wobbling through your knees, but you want your hands to stay completely still, that tension on the band to stay the same, even though your pelvis is on the move. Okay, then we're going to stay in this position and see if you can straighten each leg in turn. Still keeping those hands really still. Now you're keeping your pelvis still as well. So what we're looking for here is that real independence of contact. Your hands can stay soft, hopefully, and still no matter what is going on around your legs and around your pelvis. Now here's a challenge. If you can, if you need to have a rest, go back down, that's fine. See if you can do some of those dips on one leg and still keep your hands really still. Okay, I'm going to swap and go onto the other leg. This is hard for those glutes, but it's also hard for those hands, trying to keep them really still. Okay, then bring that foot down, bring your bridge back down, imprint your low back at the bottom, and we're going to do a few where we're synchronising your arms and your bridge as well. So pelvic floor onto floor 3, imprint, then as you peel up through your bridge, take your hands over your head, and as you come back down through your bridge, bring your hands back up to the ceiling. So you're synchronising the bridge and the arms on the way up and on the way back down, and as you bring your hands back, you want to make sure that they are moving together. So the band will help them to move together. Try to keep that little bit of tension on the band all the way up and all the way back down. We're going to do one more. Okay, then bring your hands back down by your side. We're going to come up into a standing position, so bring yourself up however feels easiest for you. Try not to do it using your hands if at all possible. We are going to move on to the warrior exercise. You can make this exercise as big or as small, therefore as easy or as difficult as you need to. I'm going to go sideways so you can see the full effect. Standing on one leg with that same band in front of you, you're aiming to get to here and back again. But if you can't get that far and you just want to do little mini ones, that is absolutely fine. However, your real aim here, to avoid falling over, is to keep your hands as level as possible. So all the way through the forward movement and back, even though you're wobbling around, probably a little bit. The flatter your floor, the easier it is. I like to give myself a challenge to be on a lumpy bit of grass. So you're controlling, the hands are staying level all the way forwards and all the way back. One more on this leg. Totally lost count. Sorry. Okay, let's have a go with the other way. So again, I will show you if you can, you're aiming to go all the way to here. But if you find you can just do a little mini one, that's absolutely fine. Do what you can do safely and easily. And then obviously, let's demonstrate again. Forwards and back. Woo! Rolling over. Okay, so your hands are staying totally level, forwards and back. It's not just the anti-wobble, it's that consistency. So this is where you're thinking, doesn't matter what's going on underneath you, you really don't want your hands and your contact to be interfering with the horse. Ooh, let's do one more. Okay, super. Right, I would like you to have one end under one foot. Now, if you can do this exercise on one leg, go for it. If you find it's just too difficult, you need to be on both feet, that's absolutely fine. You're going to have the other end in the opposite hand. There's lots of opposites in these exercises. And turn that hand so your thumb is turned in towards the hip, and you're aiming to go up and out with that hand and down and in. Up and out, so the thumb leads the way, and down and in. If you can't get to the top, go to about 90, or you can even go to about 45 degrees. Do what works best for your shoulder as you go, but watch, let me try and go sideways without losing my band. As you go up, try not to swing forwards through those old ribs. This is a shoulder control exercise. You're looking to try and isolate that movement to those shoulder muscles, so you're building the control and the stability through the shoulder. Let's swap. Same thing on the other side. So band under the opposite foot to the hand. Again, if you want to be on 2 feet, that's fine. Thumb is turned into the hip and it goes up and out and down and in. I'm not as strong on my left side. It's got better. I've been doing a lot more weights through this last winter. Has got better. But it's still not as strong as the right. Again, you can always go to 90 or go to 45. And as with the other side, try to avoid that pushing forward through your ribs and your tummy. The movement is coming on your shoulder. Oh, my arm's getting tired. Let's do one more this way. Oof. Okay, right, let's swap back to the other original hand and leg. Again, on one leg if you can. And this time you're pushing and then kind of pulling. This exercise is called row and pull. It's very exciting. I'll go sideways again so you can see. So push and pull. But again, you'll notice that my body is staying really still. The movement is all coming through that shoulder. So I'm controlling all of this movement through my arm. I'm not letting my body join in. So we're looking for that precision of movement through the arm that has got the band in. Also try to relax the other hand. What you're trying to avoid is tension. So think what happens if you get tense, and I think most of us have one arm that we find we tend to fix with, then we are blocking the feedback down the range of the horse. Let's swap over, and we're trying to make our contact as consistent and equal as possible through both sides. So yes, with this exercise, the arms are doing different things. One is by my side not doing anything, the other is on the move, but you still want this arm to be soft and relaxed, and not getting fixed and rigid and really bracing. Let's do one more. Okay, super. Let's pop that band down to one side. Feet back underneath you, nice and equal. And let's have some nice big shoulder rolls. Get rid of any tension that might have built in if you're starting to get a little bit tired, like my left shoulder was. Okay, and then with your knees soft, reach out with one arm, breathe in at the top, and breathe out to take your arm down and round. Breathe in at the top, breathe out. One more this way, breathe in and out. Bring that arm back down by your side. Keep your knees soft as you reach out with the other arm for a breath in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Out. And we'll do one more. Breathe in. And out. And bring that arm back down by your side. Make sure your feet are back underneath you. Shoulders are relaxed and open. And your head is just floating on the top of your spine, and we will stop there. You're probably a little bit tired. What I find with these, as I was saying, is that my left shoulder is not quite as strong as my left arm, and so it fatigues more quickly. What you're looking for over time is to try and reduce that ability, or that tendency for that fatigue to kick in more quickly on your weaker side. Something I'm always working on, something you need to be working on as well, because obviously the longer you're in the saddle, say if you're competing particularly, you don't want fatigue to be starting to impact on what's happening with your horse. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found those exercises really useful. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and of course every time you do these and you share them on your social media, that makes such a difference as well. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you soon.